Life is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God. Well, in a world where challenges are plentiful, it's easy for us to feel discouraged, yet with enough guidance and support, most people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. You only have one life. Beyond your fears is everything you ever dreamed of and more. The Dr. STEM Show will give the voiceless a voice and the hopeless hope. And now here she is, Dr. STEM.
Hello, real quick, before we get into the show, I wanted to invite you to a free 7-day manifesting challenge. Here's the thing. I believe that we all are capable and able to achieve our dreams and desires at any time, but we have to know how to be receptive, how to manifest and receive that which we are asking for. So for 7 days, I'll be sending you an audio or video for you to watch and then do the things that I say in that video. And then after 7 days, I can't wait. I'm so excited to hear what comes up for you, what you'll be able to achieve. So visit our website, www.drstemmy.com and www.drstemspeaks.com. Now, let's get into the show. Hello, and welcome to the Dr. STEM Show. I'm so excited to have a guest. You know, I'm always asking and saying to people, hey, come on, let's talk. Let's have, this show. So my guest today was one of those brave women that just reached out, and there's no reaching out from nowhere. We are mostly what I believe is spirit-led. We are also led by the determination to connect with other individuals that we would never have the opportunity to connect with. So I really want to be grateful, for Miss Beth McGill for reaching out to me on Facebook. And she's like, hey, we do almost the same thing. How can we collaborate? And I thought, now, what a great question that is. I do have this platform where you can come and let's have this candid talk about what you do and how you can spread, the same message that I've been spreading, which is motivating, empowering, encouraging, inspiring, and making sure that there is personal and professional growth opportunities available to all. So welcome to the show, Miss Beth.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm inspired to be here.
Thank you. So without further ado, I don't think I'll do you justice if I introduced you. I wanted you to just tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I was a third grade teacher for over 20 years. And then I started a financial services business because I wanted to learn about money because I didn't know. What better way to learn than by jumping in and doing, right? So I started my own business, I grew it, and last year I was able to sell that business and and then step into what I call the calling of my soul, which is thrive, flourish, and grow, and doing the work that I do today.
Wow. And we're going to go deeper into the work that you do today. But just to let the listeners know, we decided that this show is titled, What Are You Going to Do Between Now and Dead? What are you going to do between now and dead? I'm telling you, the minute that I received her book, which she'll also be talking about, Allow Life to Happen and Receive Everything That You Desire. You can go on Amazon and, every bookstore, you'll be able to find it. Is it on your website as well, Miss Beth?
It is.
It is. Perfect. So that website again?
ThriveFlourishGrow.com.
thriveflourishgrow.com will have that website right under here. But the minute that I received it, you know how you receive the book and the first thing you do is go in the back and see, what is this book about? And I noticed that it says, what are you going to do between now and dead? I was so excited. I was so stunned at that, because then it also reminded me to say, whoa, don't forget that one of these days you're no longer going to be here. So how are you living each moment and each day? Remember that you're whole, you only have one life. And that's why I say to her, hey, let's call this, what are you going to do between now and dead? So we're going to be talking mostly about that project that she did with Allowing to Happen, as well as the work that she's doing. So what was the inspiration to do what you're doing now? And maybe you can also explain the swift now from the financial aspect to what you're doing now and what inspired you to go that route.
Yeah, well, I left teaching in 2015, and I was working as a financial advisor from home. I live at the beach. I surf. Like, I'm living this life that I absolutely love, happily married. My adult children are doing well. And after a couple of years, what I was doing is I was setting these really lofty goals for myself and my business. And I was doing what all of my male mentors told me to do. I was grinding and I was working hard and I was trying to meet these goals. And after a couple of years of that, I thought there has to be something more, because there was no joy in it. Even though I had a successful business, there wasn't a joy. It was always work. It was tedious. And I thought, this isn't fun. Like, I want life to be fun. There's got to be more. And so one day, I had been in a networking event, again, doing what I thought I should be doing for business, but this was a different type of a networking event. And the gal, Jill, demonstrated something called meditation. Now, at the time, I had never meditated in my life. And I thought, well, what does that have to do with business? And she said, no, it's really good. And she went over all the ways that it's therapeutic and good for you. I'm like, okay, I get it. And she led us through about a 5-minute meditation. Well, it wasn't anything I was really interested in. But after a few months, when I realized I wasn't having fun, I thought, well, I'm doing everything I should be doing and it's not working. I want to do something different. And so I set my timer for 5 minutes one day, and I sat there and I said, God, who am I? Because I wanted to go deeper. I knew that being a financial advisor, a teacher, a wife, and a mother, those were all labels. And I wanted to go deeper. So I just sat there with that question for 5 minutes. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but something happened. I received a word. It's like it just slipped into my mind. And I thought, well, that was really fun. And so I did it for about 90 days. And every day I received a word, and it was really beautiful. And that started my spiritual journey. So that's how I got started. As for the financial services, what I realized is part of that journey was understanding and learning about the law of attraction, and finding mentors like Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey. And I literally was a sponge. And what I realized is that the law of attraction and understanding abundance and prosperity, it really is a faith-based mindset. And what dawned on me was that as a financial advisor, it was more of a fear-based mindset. You have to save your money because you don't have enough. And I found that those two ideas were conflicted, and I felt like I had one foot in each side. And it got to a point about 1.5 years ago where I thought, I can't continue this. I need to let one go. I need to let the fear go, because it was the last little bit of fear-based mindset that was in my world. And so I did. I let it go. And I manifested the perfect person to buy my business. And it went smooth. It was easy. It flowed. And now it's permanent. It's done. It's complete. Wow. And so that was a little bit about the transition from one to the other.
Okay. So right now you're not doing financial, teachings. What kind of teachings do you do now?
Yeah, so I love teaching the law of attraction. I have a Facebook group. I go live all the time. I'm constantly teaching there. I have some online courses that are self-directed, and I'm doing my work. So my work, I call it HEAL, which stands for hypnotherapy, energy alignment, and love. And what I'm doing is I'm combining what I've learned with hypnotherapy and being able to guide people to get messages and get learning from their subconscious, but also with the energy work, guiding people to have a conversation with their soul. And by that two-pronged approach, we're able to really help people heal from the inside.
That
So
is,
that's what I'm doing with individuals.
yeah, that is so unique and different. And you got me from the moment that you said I was a teacher, because then coaching, counseling, and the work that you do, we are teachers in general.
Yes.
So yeah, so having that background, I can see how this is really ideal, and also a way to continue your passion for teaching.
Yes.
So do you work with both female and males?
Predominantly, I've worked with females.
Okay.
But the work works.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. But I'm predominantly reaching out to networking in groups and working with women.
With women, okay,
Mhm.
okay. So
Yeah.
you talk about the law of attraction. What is that most important thing that we all need in order to manifest our desires?
Yeah, it really is understanding the law of attraction and being aware of your thoughts and your feelings. I find that a lot of people that want to manifest, they're actually focused on the lack of what they have. They say that they want something, but the vibration, they can say that they want to manifest, I don't know, a new job or whatever it is, but I find that their vibration, what they're really emitting is the fact, they're focused on the reality that they don't have it. And so our mindset, our focus, our vibration, our energy has to be aligned with what we desire.
Yes, yes. It's interesting you say that, because then I'm always, reminding people to say, it's one thing to say, I really wanted to do such and such, but what happened was such and such, and I don't think that this could work for me, and everything that automatically, when we say something like that, our energy and vibration is saying, it's not possible for me. It's not going to happen for me. It cannot happen for me. And that's the energy that comes forth. And, in turn, attracts back exactly that, rejection, neglect, that failure, and opportunities will come your way. But many a time, if you have that kind of mindset and thinking, they literally will be served to you on a platter, and you might not see it. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's what you're thinking about. And most people they're so busy running around, they don't even know what they're thinking about.
you're right.
And so that's why I really like to inspire people to, first of all, be very aware of what they're thinking about, and also how they feel. How are these thoughts making you feel? And like Louise Hay says, there's no one in your mind thinking for you. Like, it's only you. So whatever you get what you think about, right? As a man thinketh. So that's the first step, is really becoming aware.
Yes. And talking about being aware, and I'll say to the audience that are watching this, I think as you listen, to this conversation, the first place is, I'm a big, person to encourage people to write. And mentioning the word journaling, many people are like, I don't want to journal. Okay, just write. How about taking a minute and just sit back and just say, where am I with my life right now? Am I doing the things that I love to do? Am I, enjoying the things that I love to do? Because based on what you just said, I think that would be a great question to ask oneself, to say, do I have everything that I want? Am I on the right path that I want? Because as she's talking, you'll start to also hear the answers and see the answers, because then many a time we watch, conversations like this and then say, oh, that was really good. But then we don't do anything about it. So I want to encourage all of you that are watching this now to please write those. You know what, Miss Beth? I did highlight some, places, because you do have in the book, which is awesome. She has questions, those kind of questions that, you can ask yourself and really journal. Did you write it as a journal as well when you were doing this?
Yes, funny that you mentioned that.
Okay.
There is a journal. It's the Allow Life to Happen 129-day journal, and it's a compilation of affirmations and quotes. And so it takes people through the book, but also exactly what you're talking about, that mindset, so that you can read that quote or that affirmation and ask yourself, what resonates with me? What message does this quote have for me? How does this affirmation make me feel? And so that was a purpose, was to help people be able to reflect what they are thinking about.
Okay. So the book itself is Allow Life to Happen. The journal is different. It's a separate book.
It is a separate book.
Oh, and what's the title of that journal?
Allow Life to Happen 129-day journal. And it's also on Amazon.
Oh, perfect. It goes so well with this book, because then as I was reading the chapters, I'm like, oh, I wish there was a journal, because then, I'm a writer, so I have my pen with me. And as I read, I'm writing. If she asks the question, I'm writing in it. So I think it's perfect for you to get the journal as well. And I'm going to get mine as soon as we finish, this conversation. I'm going to get mine, because then I want to have both, because I found myself just writing all over the book. I'll tell you what, one page that really captured me is page 8 in this book. It says, you are the only person who thinks in your mind. You are the power and authority in your world. As she said, Louise Hay said that part. She was my mentor as well. I went to every I Can Do It conference that she did around the world and in the United States when Louise Hay was still here. So I loved her quotes, that you put in here. So as you've seen, do you have any examples in your own life where you manifested something that, because then people are always about examples, what happened to you and how did you manifest something that you can say, let me tell you what happened?
Oh my goodness. There's so much, because again, when you start to allow life to happen and you stop trying to make things happen, that's really when the magic and the miracles happen. And you're right. I don't talk about that a lot, but it's a lot of times it's the little things, but it's also the big things, right? So since 2020, I've probably manifested like $1 million. And that's not working for it. It's allowing it to come to me. But it's those little things every day that happen, that you're going, oh yeah, I did that. Or I asked the universe for that, and here it comes. It's flowing to me. And I did that with the book as well, because the universe told me to write the book. I never planned on writing a book. It wasn't on my bucket list, but it was directly a message that I received. And even though I didn't know how to write the book, I had the understanding, I had the faith that I would be shown how. And so I went with it. And sure enough, when I needed to learn about editors, that information came to me. When I needed a media person, that person came to me. So it's about not worrying about how it's going to happen, but know that it will come, it will manifest.
Yes. So as you say that, maybe it's a great place to segue into, what does it mean to allow life to happen to you?
Yeah. Again, it's about releasing the how, not having to know how it's going to happen, but understanding that the universe truly has your back and understands how to bring all the people and the things together that you need. And I believe in order to really allow that to happen, that you have to understand who you are as a spiritual being and have a deep connection with your soul. It's not that you can just allow it to happen and trust the universe, because a lot of people say that, but it's about having that deeper connection to your spiritual self.
Yes, yes. And for those of you that are listening, because many a time when I do these kind of interviews, people will listen to it and say, well, but I believe in God and, not the universe. Would you agree with me? Because then what I believe is God, the universe, Allah, higher power, whatever we call it, it's still in the same realm of what we believe in, that there is a higher power, there is God, and there is faith. Is that, something that you also believe in?
Absolutely. And I always say God, spirit, universe as a phrase, because I don't want to offend anyone. It's whatever anyone's belief is their belief. But it's knowing that, I mean, look at the world, look at our bodies, like there has to be a power behind that, right? And our bodies are such magnificent machines, or there has to be a power. And like, we don't tell our heart to beat, it's there's a power inside of us. And it's not just God, spirit, universe out there somewhere. It's everywhere. It's omniscient. It's in us. And when I realized, that was my biggest aha, when I realized that I wasn't a physical being having a spiritual experience. I think this was Wayne Dyer. I'm a spiritual being having a physical experience.
Yes.
And with the emphasis of I'm more spiritual, I'm more aligned with God's spirit universe, this physical body and this physical experience is wonderful. And I'm going to live it to the best I possibly can, in as much joy and love as I possibly can. Yes. So that was my big aha. It was definitely it was like a light switch went off when I realized, oh, I'm a spiritual being. And then I started to understand, okay, not just a spiritual being, but I'm an infinite spiritual being having a temporary physical experience. And that was my epiphany, if you will.
Yes. And I think what I also have learned throughout the years of doing, the same work and also helping others with this work, because then, what happens is as we do this work, we are doing the work ourselves as well. So as we manifest, we are also living examples of how to manifest and also, learning how to do it. So the thing about it is, it's one thing to write your goals and say, these are the things that I want to do, and I want to retire, and I want to have financial freedom, and I don't want to clock in and clock out. I want to have my own business. So all of those things, many of us have written those kind of goals down, right? Like, this is what I want. And I think where it becomes disheartening is when you look back and you're like, but I haven't even, gotten anything. I'm still working. I'm still clocking in, and I still live from paycheck to paycheck. And what this work does, it helps you, as Beth was saying, the meditation gets you to a point where you can quieten your mind to get to the place where you are led and guided to take the right steps into the direction of everything that you've written down and more. So that's the difference between just writing it and following it. It's also getting to that place of quietening the mind. Can you expand a little bit about that part of being in that receptive mode, with the quietening of the mind?
Yeah. And with the quieting of the mind, your intuition, which is a spiritual guidance, is going to be more powerful, right? And you're going to be inspired to take certain action. Yes, we need to take action, but what I find is most people are taking uninspired action. Yeah. It's like, no, when you meditate and you quiet your mind, then you're able to see what you're supposed to be able to see, and you can feel into taking that inspired action. So I call it, for me, it was like saying yes to the universe, right? And even when I was teaching and became a financial advisor and I hadn't gone through this part of it, I still was in tune to my gut feeling. I still was in tune to there's something more. And I was open to looking for it, right? I think, like you mentioned, learning is really important. And for me, it's about who can I learn from? And so, yeah, for me, it's been saying yes to the universe, learning as much as I can, being a sponge, not trying to make things happen, but only taking, and I started doing that with financial services. I would ask myself, is this action going to bring me joy?
Wow.
And if it wasn't, even if I needed to call a client, if it wasn't going to bring me joy in that moment, I didn't do it. I would wait, maybe in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. But I really started getting in touch with, am I doing this? Am I inspired to do this action? Is it something I have to do right now? Will it bring me joy?
Yes. Yes. How about one of the things that I also have found, Beth, is in doing this work as well, there is so much, power in having an accountability partner.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak more on that? Because that's what I see you as when people are working with you, whether it's an individual or even in groups, about you being the accountability partner. How big is that for someone to have that, relationship?
It's huge. We need those subtle reminders. And it's funny that you say that, because I do, in my Facebook group, I offer a call every Wednesday. And a lot of times people that have worked with me will get on the call, or maybe I'm just seeing them in person or something, and they'll say something, and I'll just say, can you reframe that? And they know exactly what I mean, because either they're saying something from a negative standpoint, or they're in a vibration of lack. And they're just like, oh. So sometimes those very subtle reminders are important in our daily life. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Now, the Facebook group that you keep mentioning, is that a free group, or it's only for those that are working with you?
It is free.
Oh, that's a free,
It is a free
group. And what's the name of that group?
High Energy Manifester.
High Energy Manifester. Okay, go look for it. I gotta look for it. I don't think I'm a part of that group, so I gotta look for it as well once we finish this here, because there is power in having other women that are on the same realm, or that are working towards it. Because as you hear of somebody's story that gets it. It's probably what it's so inspiring, it's so encouraging, and it gives you that energy as well to tell yourself that it is possible for me too. Because trust me, if it can happen to one person, it can happen to all people. So it's very important to just align with people that are on the same realm, and also understand or want to understand the law of attraction, because we're always constantly learning.
Yeah, and it's not like what you were saying. The law of attraction doesn't apply only to some people. The law of attraction applies to each and every one of us. We just have to understand how it works, and we need to be aware of our energy and our vibration. What we're putting out into the universe is exactly what we're going to get back, and all you have to do is look and see what you have.
Exactly. How can people get in touch with you? And again, where can they see more of your work?
Yes, so my website is thriveflourishgrow.com. And those are all synonyms for the word expansion.
Okay.
And expansion was one of the words that was dropped in when I first started doing my meditation. So it's very important to me. So thriveflourishgrow.com, there's links there for my book, my journal, and my email, if you want to get in contact with me personally, is thriveflourishgrow@gmail.com. And I also have a free consultation where I'll spend time with you for 30, 45, an hour, and see, really what you're looking for, and see if I have anything, either my courses or my work, that would benefit you.
Awesome. So here is, one of the reasons, of the many reasons why you should work with Beth. She is not only a teacher, because I know we spoke a lot about being a teacher. She's a hypnotherapist, and she is an energy healer practitioner. She is also an inspirational speaker as well as a best-selling author. So what I love when I have guests like her is also to let you know that, not only can you take advantage of it by yourself, she can come to your group and be a speaker and talk about, the law of attraction, and also talk about healing, whether it's energy healing and just healing in general, and also, the services that she provides. So her email again is a thriveflourishgrow@gmail.com. We again will have the email right as you watch this show. You have the email and her website, as well. I know you said you've got something else coming up in August, and August is a few weeks away. What's coming up in August?
Oh, at the end of August, I was part of an anthology,
Okay.
and it is being released on Amazon August 31st, and it's called Share Your Brilliance. And my chapter is called You Are Not Alone.
You are not alone. Share your brilliance.
Yeah,
Awesome.
You Are Not Alone, where I felt like there was a little bit some more depth after I wrote the book, where I would go more into a soul level. And that was a message I wanted to tell my younger self, right?
Yeah.
You're not alone. You're going to be okay. And so that's what my chapter is about.
Awesome. Any words of parting? I hate this because as we are having fun, I look at the time,
I know. I feel like we're just getting started.
I know. It's so much fun doing these things here. So, you know what? Before I even ask you for, I want to just get real quick and just have some play with you, because the universe loves play and I love doing play. What is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is purple, and I think it's because it was my mother's favorite. Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
One of my last times I was with my mom, I took her to an event we went to the same high school, and the color was purple, and she was so cute. She wore this big purple robe and had purple toenails.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. So what was your favorite part when you wrote the book? Any favorite chapter that you enjoyed writing most?
Really all about loving yourself, because that's the main part that we need to get to, is understanding that we're all here. We need to be in a state where we can love ourselves unconditionally and love others unconditionally. And once you get there, yes, life is magical.
Awesome. Her book is Allow Life to Happen and Receive Everything You Desire. And remember, we titled this show, What Are You Going to Do Between Now and Dead? I hope it's an exciting time for you. Rather than thinking about dead, that you're going to think about life. You're going to be thinking about manifesting, and you're going to think about, what is that one thing, 20 things, 100 things that I would love to happen and do in my lifetime. That is the whole purpose of this show, not to think about the end, but to think about that dash in between now and dead. So before we leave, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Beth, for being our guest today. But what is that one final thought that you would like to leave with our listeners today?
Meditate and journal. Those are my two non-negotiables. There's 30 exercises in the book, but you have to find what really works for you. And for me, those are my two non-negotiables, the two things that I have to do every day.
Awesome. Thank you again for being our guest today. And thank you to all the listeners who are watching this today and who will be watching this after. And don't forget to get in touch with her. She has some awesome programs that are on her website. And she also said there's a free Facebook group that you can join. So do so. Until next time, thank you for watching. This is Dr. Stem. And as I always say, be encouraged.